didn't leave me anything.
No. Here last week? I wasn't here last week.
Oh. Disappointed.
I think it was Brian lying last week.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So good to see all of you. She's here with us once again. Won't you please welcome our featured soloist this morning, Miss Michelle Doyle.
Good morning, everybody. Are we feeling in the Christmas spirit yet? One person is in the Christmas spirit? I don't believe it. Okay, that will be our goal for today then. We'll try to get in the Christmas spirit for real by the end of this service. Find a seat next to someone you love or someone you don't know and give them a hug. I think that's a good idea. Standing outside the door of love and mercy, you wonder if there's a place there for you. You know there's peace inside, but still you're searching for someone who understands the pain you've been through. Well, the door's unlocked, the lights are on. What are you waiting for? Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong right now. Just come on in. You'll find a place of rest in the arms of spirit. God has waited so long for you home on a day. God knows the peace you seek and the search of feeling. Spirit wants to hold you and wipe your tears away. Well, the Father waits with open arms, and God is calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong right now. No matter where you've been, just come on in. Well, there's room enough in the house of love for someone just like you. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong right now. No matter where you've been, come on in, Good morning, everybody.
Good morning and Merry Christmas and all the other holidays that are involved in this season. We welcome everybody today. It's my pleasure to serve here. I'm Bev Spivey, and I co-minister with my husband, Rev Lawrence Palmer, and we're happy to be here. So if we haven't met you yet, come around afterwards at fellowship time. I have a workshop this afternoon. We'd like to get to know each of you who feels the urge to come here and be with us on a Sunday morning. So a special welcome to our wonderful musicians. James McCoy, our music minister.
Good morning. Would you please welcome once again Mr. John Rose at the piano this morning. And once again at the drum set, Mr. Orlando Machado. And you met our featured soloist, Michelle Doyle. We're so glad she's back with us. And this morning we have music from Amy Grant, and it's probably my favorite Christmas song, actually. Yeah. And then a traditional Christmas song that I arranged. You'll hear that a little bit later. So.
And John's been in Canada for 3 weeks, so did you bring us some snow and ice? And
John's been in Canada, and Michelle's going back to Canada. So.
All right, there you go. And the rest of us are happy to be here, aren't we? Let's start today by focusing on what our theme has been all year long, on using our imagination for all the positive things that we can conjure up, as opposed to the many negative things we can conjure up in any given moment. So use that courage to imagine joyfully. As we start into this Christmas season, our theme has been joy for the month of December. So won't you join me in this affirmation together? My life is an eternal celebration of joy. And we feel that joy here with our vision statement. Together, centered in God, we are an ever-expanding spiritual community of one. And our mission statement. Together, we are a spiritual beacon of inspiration, abundance, and enlightenment. So in this holiday season, while it may not be joyful for each and every one of us, we will be a place of joy. So do come out and come to as many events as you can and enjoy the season. So let's have a brief prayer together as we breathe in this day with gratitude for our pleasant weather, our sunshine, our blue skies, all our returning snowbird friends, and those who are traveling all over the country and elsewhere in this holiday season. We include in this spiritual family all of those of you on live stream this morning. Let us know we are one. We encourage you to feel safe and comfortable here. Open your heart and mind to whatever insights the day holds. And with gratitude, we start forward, and so it is. Amen. And this month, this week, our prayer together is the Lord's Prayer. So won't you join me in praying that as we close this prayer time? Together, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And now at Christmas time, we have an Advent reading by one of our children or youth, and this time it's a youth because Catherine is in 6th grade, I believe, and has grown up with us. So Catherine, won't you come up and read our Advent reading this morning?
Hello, my name is Catherine, and today I'm reading about love. I look for and find ways to show love. Love is the strongest force in the universe. Love heals. love find ways to connect us when there seems to be no way. As I get ready to celebrate the birth of Jesus, of love, my love is shown as kindness to strangers. It is also shown as love of friends and family. The gifts I give and receive are symbols of the warmth and love I share. I give the gift of caring as I pray for those in need. I show love with each smile or kind word I offer to others. In return, I feel even greater love. Love is multiplied as it is given away. Love one another. John 13:34.
And now Catherine will light the Advent candle for love. As we have the glowing candles already for our first week of Advent, which was faith and hope. And last week it was peace. And today she lights the candle for love. And now let's all stand together and sing a familiar Christmas carol.
Now everybody needs to sing. That's all. I want to hear everybody. Angels, we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the way, and the mountains even high, echoing with joyous strain. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? Say what may the tidings be, which inspire your heavenly song?
Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Gloria in excelsis Deo. Everybody on this verse, come on. Come to Bethlehem, we see him whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on baby Christ. All right, James. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
You sound so good.
That was good practice for caroling tonight. We've got several announcements today, and they were, oh no, thank you, ushers waving to me. Before the announcement, see, I'm all anxious to get you into the holiday spirit here. We want to take time to make sure you understand if you're here for the first time, you are very welcome. So if you are here for the first time, would you just raise your hand? We simply have a welcome brochure to give you. Anybody the first time? All right, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Good to have you here. Over here, Virginia. Okay. All of us, we got it. And all of you, whether you're here for the 1000th time or the first time, let's have fellowship together. afterwards. Prayer is very important here, and so we invite you to put your prayer requests on the blue slips that are in the chair backs in those folders. If this is your first time today, there's a prayer slip in your welcome brochure, and all are invited to let us know your prayer concerns, be they fears or joys, and we have a one effort to put our prayer requests first in their day, and they spend prayer every day for you, your prayer requests, and for our spiritual community. There is prayer time available in the first half hour before this service, so beginning at 10:30. For silent prayer or prayer with the chaplain in the first room on the right, which is our prayer chapel. And you're invited to go in there at any time for some private, personal prayer. And at the end of each service, the chaplains will line up in the aisles and be available as you leave the service. You can grab one of them and have some prayer to start your week. So, our outreach program. Last week, you were so generous, and we're going to be running this all month long because school is not in session now. You know, at the holiday time, there are a lot of charities that we like to remember and give to. There are people in need that come to mind that we like to reach out to. And yet, our school systems are in need all the time. In the fall, there are a number of backpack programs that people promote and give to. So we are giving a mid-year gift to the teachers who spend their own money for school supplies. As you know, the school budgets are very, very minimal. So a $20 donation will supply a packet of materials for a teacher, and we want to hand out as many of those as we can to Imagine North Lauderdale Elementary School, where Michelle Guerin has worked, and I know many of you are teachers, and she has told us of the dire need they have. Teachers spend hundreds of dollars of their own money to provide what they need for supplies for their students. So there's a table in the narthex. If you can give cash or check to this project, it is tax deductible for you, so thank you. We have today the most wonderful workshop you could ever amaze. It will dazzle and amaze you. And I say that tongue-in-cheek, but those who have taken some of my History of the Bible courses know that I'm going to surprise you with a few things about the origins of Christmas and the beliefs around Christmas. So our wonderful, who supplied food today for fellowship? Anybody in this room? They're probably still setting up over there, but David? Ho, 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 you're in luck. All right, David Hamilton provides fellowship. So if you're going to the workshop, please get ahead of the line. If you're not going to the workshop, let people pass so they can have some food. And we will start over here at 1 o'clock right here in the sanctuary. We're scheduled to go to 3. That will depend on if you're getting sleepy or not. But I have a lot of material for you, and we'll also get into how unity looks at the Christmas stories metaphysically. So I look forward to sharing with you this afternoon. We also have Christmas caroling tonight. That's our group from last year. I see Catherine, and I guess that's you, Melinda, Rita. There were several of us. Come out tonight. Bring friends. You don't have to be a member of this congregation. We have song sheets. We have a few Santa hats. We will have candy canes with our name on to give out as we go. And we just walk the neighborhood and sing carols in that old-fashioned tradition that some of us still remember. So come to Fellowship Hall at 6 o'clock and bring your flashlight, and we will get started on caroling. We also have a week full of wonderful things to keep you centered and on track. In addition to class on Tuesday night, where our folks will finish up their last class on self-care, we have Thursday night. Richard Wazensky has been here before. He's just wonderful. He has a number of flutes and instruments, including a crystal harp. And this will be a meditation service. Suggested offering is $10. It'll just be for an hour at 7 o'clock right here in the sanctuary. And then, of course, we can't have Christmas without the solstice, so we need some drummers, and those of you who remember the drumming circles that we have, come on out to the Pompano Beach on Friday night. It says 7 to 9, but we won't make it that long. 7 to 8 will be just fine. So it's important during this holiday time that you don't get too consumed with dashing around and thinking you have to do so much shopping and buying and planning and stressing. Do what you need to do, but take time for calming and celebratory spiritual things as well. Christmas Eve, this is just to let you know, we will have, as we do every year, Christmas Eve candlelight service, and we will also have New Year's Eve service. Now, we're asking you to promote this as wide as you can. Friends, family, neighbors. Our wonderful concert on Sunday night, the night before New Year's Eve, December 30th. Put together by James and our wonderful musicians.
So we're going to finalize the song list. We've gotten some of your requests. Very interesting. It's kind of been fun to see what some of you want to hear. So it's going to be all of our favorite songs put together in one concert that you don't necessarily get to hear all the time here at Unity of Pompano. So it's not just going to be spiritual music. It'll also be some, how should we say, secular selections as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, and our featured soloists are Samantha Natalie and Robbie Elias. It's going to be an expanded band. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I've just been informed today by Phil DeRocher that for those of you who live in certain neighborhoods who want to bring a group of people, 10 or more, he will come and pick you up and bring you to the concert. So he just let me know that this morning.
Phil, raise your hand so everybody knows who you are.
That's Phil right there. So maybe you want to let him know, if you can get together 10 or more people, he will come to your neighborhood and pick you up and bring you to the concert. So.
And then to make the night easier for check-in and payment and all of that, you can go to our website, unitypompanobeach.org, and click on this ad is there, and there's a link to click on and buy your tickets. We are not charging a ticket fee. It's $20 only. It's the best New Year's Eve deal going. And many of us don't go out and party on New Year's Eve so much, so this will be our party, including a wonderful festive fellowship time afterwards.
Even though Christmas will be over, that's a really good Christmas gift, so just keep that in mind.
It is. Give that as a gift to some people. And to let you know that Raphael, raise your hand, Hidalgo is going to be leading us in a Course in Miracles group. We haven't had one here for a long time. Many of you have heard about the Course and wonder what in the world it is. Some of you use it and follow it daily. So come on out. We're giving some advance notice so you can plan. Monday nights, it will be every Monday night starting at 7, and it'll be a love offering basis. So we're going to start Monday, January 7. Yes, Monday, January 7. And then, last of all, but certainly not least, we have a real treat for all of the women and all of the men who want to make points with women. Be they your mother, your auntie, your family, your neighbor, whoever you want to make happy as a woman. Here you go.
Hi, I'm Radiant Satterfield, and I lead the Women of Unity women's group here. And I have an announcement about our exciting retreat coming up. Unity of Pompano invites women on a spiritual retreat weekend of sisterhood as we embark on the 12 steps of embracing your inner goddess. It's March 22nd and 23rd, 2019 at Duncan Center, Delray Beach. Our exciting and informative program will take you on a journey of discovery facilitated by me and based on the principles from my book, The Goddess Tribe. As we delve deep into the principles of affirmative prayer, the law of attraction, and the 12 powers, we will be entertained and uplifted with the sublime sounds of the award-winning spiritual singer, Jennifer Farron. Friday night, we're joined by soul shaman, Rhonda Bird, as she takes us on a mystical shamanic journey, connecting past, present, and future of the eternal soul. Your ticket price includes all programs accommodations, and the amazing meals provided by Duncan Center in Delray Beach. Book your spot today. Space is limited. You can place a $50 deposit by going to either our Facebook event or Unity of Pompano's website. The price is $180 per person for double occupancy, $198 per person single occupancy. Reserve today and invite a friend. Thank you.
Thanks, Dee. And so because we need to make a deposit with Duncan Center to hold our space, we're asking those of you that can part with the $50 to go ahead and get your registration in this week if you can by our website, unitypompanobeach.org. Are we prepared to take any sign-ups here today? Sure, we'll get prepared. If you got, you know me, if you got money, we'll take it, right? No, it's an excellent, excellent weekend, all kidding aside. It's a wonderful gift for anybody in your life. Women, we know that those of you who have come before to our retreats will want to do it again. So let's make time to prepare for this wonderful retreat. If you do have payment and you want to just pay in full, that would be great too. There's a choice of either one on the menu. So I think that concludes this. Betsy is going to teach the children. Anybody here for Sunday school class can go now. Catherine is for sure. And the rest of us, let's stand and greet each other. Normally, James tells us to sit down. James is talking. James, when the music
stops, we all sit back down. Thank you.
We do appreciate all the love and joy you bring to this space. People coming in for the first time always comment on what a wonderful energy is here. So we have heard the Advent word for today, and we know it's love. So just to settle you into a space to prepare for a time of meditation, let's focus on love today. I keep my heart open to the love of God. The love of God is a powerful force for good. Divine love mends differences, creates joy, and opens hearts and lives to unlimited blessings. Where love is, there can be no disharmony. Only good is at work, and only good prevails. Love is the fulfilling of the law, the assurance that there is something greater to experience and enjoy. Love is magnetic. It draws to itself every good thing. And the verse is from Romans 13:10. Love does no wrong to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. Now we prepare for a time of meditation, which will be led by Dina Shimmick. And Melinda is bringing our prayer chest forward so that we remember our spiritual family and friends and whoever else every day in positive thought. And let us prepare by singing, I Am Light.
Soul inside is light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am God on the inside. I am a star, piece of it all. I am light.
And as we now have this opportunity to be together through meditation, I invite each and every one of you to close your eyes and feel a comfortable spot for your body and just simply start to breathe. Allow your breath to take a rhythm that feels right for you, that feels comfortable. And as you continue to breathe, give your mind permission to be completely open and still, to turn away any incessant thought that keeps reappearing itself. And also give your body the same permission to relax, for your muscles to just be as they are, and for you to fully appreciate just being in this moment. During this time of celebration, the joy is palpable, and at times the grief, sadness, and feelings of being alone are palpable as well. So for the next few moments, allow yourself to feel the pure joy that you are, the joy of your being. And as you continue to breathe deeply, whether you perhaps envision a bright light coursing through every inch of your body, allowing joy to radiate through your being, or perhaps just feel the joy that you know you already are. Start by having complete joy for your body, knowing that you are vital, knowing that you're full of life, that each and every day cells multiply, cells are depleted, always keeping you healthy and whole and filled with this joy. Feel the joy for your mind, for your personality, for your authenticity, knowing that even when you are feeling sad or alone, that you are still filled with this joy, with this magic, with this light of authenticity that you are. Over the next few moments, as you continue to breathe, if thoughts of grief come up or sadness, hold on to that person you are missing, and instead of feeling sadness, think upon a memory that brings you joy and allows this person to live on in your heart always. So as we go into the silence, continue envisioning the light radiating down your body, or perhaps just joyous memories as we go into the silence. And now as we softly and gently come back to this time and place, allow yourself to feel that joy that you are, your radiance, your zeal for life, the light within that shines each and every day. Like our mission statement says, you are a beacon of light, spreading joy through your smile, through your interaction with like-minded people, and through your authenticity. And during this Christmas season, if you feel alone, remember you are never alone. For Spirit is always within you and around you, and in every being, every flower, every sunset. Know that you hold this presence with you, and you can tap into that love at any point, and know that you are not alone. So with immense gratitude for this time together, for us being able to be and be filled with joy, let's all take a deep breath in and release it. And so it is.
And let's conclude this time of prayer and meditation by singing together, Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
I have traveled many moonless nights, cold and weary, with a babe inside, and I wonder what I've done. Holy Father, you have and chosen me now to carry your son. I am waiting in a silent prayer. I am frightened by the load I bear in a world as cold as stone. Must I walk this path alone? Be with me now. Be with me now. Breath of heaven, hold me together, be forever near me. Breath of heaven, breath of heaven, light up my darkness, pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Breath of heaven. Do you wonder as you watch my face if a wiser one should take my place? But I offer all I am for the mercy of your land. Help me be strong. Help me be. Help me. Breath
It's Michelle Doyle. It's the music of Amy Grant.
As always, well done, band. Yes, yes, yeah. I just got to tell you this. I was sitting down there a moment ago holding that notebook. It has Bev's notes for the class this afternoon. Bev worked really hard on that class. I mean, hours and hours and hours, 11 pages of notes. And I told her, whispered to her that I had the thought, just ran through my mind, of slipping one of those pages out. And that reminded me of one of my favorite stories. There was a minister who was known for reading his sermons. He always had the text there on the pulpit, and he would read through his sermon. And one of the little boys thought one day it'd be a grand idea to slip up there and take one of the pages of his notes out and hide it. So the minister was preaching along that morning, and he got down at the bottom of the page, and he said, "And Adam said to Eve," turned the page, and he realized that something was wrong. So to buy himself some time, he said, and Adam said to Eve, and was shuffling around trying to find what was going on. And Adam said to Eve, and finally with a look of desperation on his face, he looked up and said, "Oh my, there seems to be a leaf missing." So I didn't take a page out, sweetheart. Well, welcome to the third Sunday of Advent. As you know, during this month, we've been looking at 4 aspects of Advent. We began with the context of Advent. What was the situation in which Advent came about? And then there was the promise of Advent. Then today we're looking at the waiting of Advent. And next week we'll be looking at the fulfillment of Advent. Now, there's always waiting in our world, in this three-dimensional world. If you have push and pull, at the moment of transition from push and pull, ever how tiny it may be, there's a spot of waiting. There's a spot of stillness. And indeed, Scripture says, "Be still and know that I am God." It doesn't say, "Be moving and know I am God." Be still and know. Between breathing, inhale and exhale, there's that moment of stillness. And meditation teachers teach you to recognize that spot, because it may be that in that spot between inhale and exhale and inhale, that there's a place where we can meet Spirit in a very special way. We have all kinds of situations like this where there's a movement and then there's a rest. So waiting is a part of our life even though we don't recognize it. Blinking your eye takes a millisecond to make that happen, but it's like after a day of blinking your eyes, you spend about 2 or 3 hours in darkness in that waiting time between the blink, when it starts and when it's finished. Ever how small it may be, it's still there. So we have waiting all over our world in this three-dimensional experience. In Psalm 27:13, Scripture says, "I remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord and be strong. Take heart and wait for the Lord." So this dynamic of waiting is much more part of our life than we realize it is most of the time. Now, we talked about when Advent started in the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve chose to go their own way, to disobey God, as the traditional story tells us. They chose to do something they were told not to do. They broke the covenant with God. And it caused a lot of problems. That's the context of the original beginning of Advent, that something is coming, because God recognized that Adam and Eve had done something they couldn't undo. They had done something they could not make. They made something wrong that they could not make right. So in that context of them needing their relationship to be restored with God, God gave them the promise that God would make it right. This is the way the traditional story goes. And the serpent that was there representing evil, as we know in the traditional story. And God said, "The serpent will bruise your heel, but I will crush your head." Meaning that the choices that Adam and Eve made were going to bring a lot of trouble into their life, but ultimately, God was going to make it all right. There's the promise of Advent. Now, between that promise of Advent and the fulfillment, as traditional Christianity sees it, the fulfillment of that promise was the coming of Jesus as the Messiah. Now, I realize that everybody doesn't believe that, but in this particular system, that's what happened. Between that promise that God's going to make it right and send someone to do what Adam and Eve couldn't do, to fix what Adam and Eve couldn't fix, and the coming of Jesus to make that happen, depending on how you look at history, it was somewhere between 2,000 and 7,000 years between the promise and the fulfillment. Between that statement of God that I'm going to make it right, I'm going to send someone to take care of it, and when that person showed up, 2,000 and 7,000 years. Think that's a bit of a waiting period. But that was part of the system. That's a part of the way it worked. Now, if we look at this Advent from a metaphysical point of view, our context is that we are living this consciousness in this human body, in this three-dimensional world for a time, and we recognize that this is the smallest part of us. Your physical reality is the smallest part of who and what you are, your being. And the promise is that one day we're going to get back home from whence we came. We're going to return to that place of wholeness. In this three-dimensional world, in this human experience, we experience fragmentation. We experience duality. And the promise is that at some point that's going to go away and it's all going to be whole again. There'll be a singularity and no more duality. That promise has been given to us, but has it happened yet? No, not in its fullness. Tiny little pieces we get of it along the way. So there's a waiting time as well, as long as it is between when we come to the awareness of the truth of ourselves and when that gets fully revealed, there's still waiting time. Now, what happens during that waiting time? One of the things that happens is frustration. Any of you love to wait? Oh boy, I get to wait some more today, right? You know, if you've ever been to an amusement park, how do they deal with it? They put you in lines like this that wind around this way, and then there's another one over here, and it winds around this way. And depending on how many people are there, there may be 3 or 4 lots that you have to go through. Score! While you are waiting, yes. And we don't enjoy that, and they put monitors up to entertain you while you're waiting and that, to make it easier, but this is a part of life. This waiting time is a part of life. We get frustrated when that happens. We want it now. I've seen a bumper sticker. I've seen it on a T-shirt. I've seen it on a poster. Lord, grant me patience, and I want it now. We don't want to wait. And there's that dynamic of adolescence, of delayed gratification. How many of you enjoy delayed gratification? Not really. There are some things, you know, that are all right. But by and large, waiting causes frustration for us. Now, there's a second thing that we experience, and that is anticipation. There was that wonderful song, but was it Carly Simon? She the one that did Anticipation. You can hear it in my head now. Anticipation can be a good thing that happens during the waiting time. If everything happens instantaneously, for every cause there's an immediate effect, for every desire there's immediate fulfilling, there's no time in there for anticipation. And sometimes anticipation is good. You think about, oh, I'm going to my favorite restaurant, I'm going to order my favorite dish and it's going to be so good, I'm going to enjoy that so much. And you start salivating and your brain says it's already happened because it feels really good. That anticipation won't happen without the time of waiting. If you make the decision and 2 seconds later you're in the restaurant eating your meal, there's no time to think about it, to anticipate it. There was a philosopher who once decided that he was going to live life in this way. He had 1 glass of wine, and he loved wine, but he had 1 glass of wine on the first day of January. And for the next 6 months, he thought about how wonderful it was, that glass of wine that he had. The next 6 months, he thinks about how wonderful the next glass is going to be. And without waiting, that could have never happened. That anticipation would have never happened. Now, sometimes the anticipation can drive you crazy. You remember being a kid and your birthday's coming? Or the Christmas is going on, there's a big box under the tree with your name on it. You know, that waiting just drives you crazy. But the possibility is during that time of anticipation that we can have a pleasant experience of expecting what is to be coming, that promise that we've been given, and waiting for the fulfillment. So we get frustrated. There's frustration, and there's anticipation, and then there's interrogation. We ask questions. Have any of you ever asked, why is it taking so long? Why isn't my prayer being answered? Why aren't my affirmations being made manifest? Why this, why this, why this? And we can drive ourselves crazy doing that, but it happens naturally. Why is it that this is happening in this way? And we have some ways of explaining it. We can say that, it takes time for things to be in place. I've read some historians and theologians and sociologists have said that if Jesus had appeared 5 years earlier or 5 years later than he did, Christianity probably wouldn't be in existence today. Because there was a political context, there was a social context in which Jesus appeared. There were a certain group of people at a certain period of time that heard the words of Jesus, and it went from there. So it may be that this time of waiting is necessary for everything to fall into place, for everything to be right. It may be that during this time of waiting, it's a time for you to experience a healing, for you to experience an awakening that will allow you to fully appreciate the fulfillment, because it might be that in a state of immaturity, the fulfillment of all the promises may come and you don't even see them. I mean, the promise is happening over here and you're looking straight ahead and nowhere else. Well, you'll miss it. So it could be that all kinds of circumstances need to be right for the fulfillment to come and really be appreciated. But there's one other why I want to share with you, and I hope it's a good thing for you. And the question is this: who is waiting on whom? All right? During the time that you're waiting for your prayers to be filled, to be answered, during the time you're waiting for your affirmations to be manifested, you're saying, okay, God, anytime now. I'm ready, God. All right, now. Okay, I'm waiting on you, God. I'm waiting on God. And most of the time, I think most of us are thinking we're waiting on God for this to happen, right? And after a while, you get frustrated. And you don't like it that you got to wait for God. Well, let me offer you another way of looking at it. What if God is waiting on us? What if the fulfillment of that promise of Advent is not waiting on God to do something, but it's waiting on us to do something? Let me offer you some words from Charles Fillmore. I have 5 quotes here. Hang in there. From Teach Us to Pray. The divine substance out of which all things are formed in its spiritual freedom is here in our midst, waiting for us to form it into whatever we may decree. Waiting for us to form it. From Christian Healing, the human organism has a world of latent energies waiting to be brought into manifestation. Distributed throughout the body are many nerve centers whose offices are not yet but vaguely understood. From Dynamics for Living, it is not the vain repetition of words over and over parrot-like. It is the quiet realization that there is a listening mind and a ready host of the great ideas of all times waiting for us. Out of Prosperity, we must begin to see this 4-dimensional world within and with its innate capacity for all things. Everything is right here, all that ever was or ever could be, simply waiting to be brought forth into manifestation by us. And again, in Teach Us to Pray, daily concentration of mind on spirit and its attributes reveals to man that the elemental forces that make matter are here in the ether, awaiting our recognition and appropriation. I could go on. There are more and more quotes from Charles Fillmore and other New Thought people who talk about the fact that all of creation is waiting on us. Now, he mentions 2 things here I think are helpful. He says that these elemental forces that make matter are here in the ether, awaiting our recognition and our appropriation. Recognition means to see something and acknowledge it and have some degree of understanding about what is there. So let's look at that. What about our recognition? Now, one of the ways of coming to recognition is the use of affirmations. Your I am statements, all of those are affirmations. We recognize who and what we are. I am perfect, whole, and complete. I recognize my true nature. That's a part of bringing this substance into manifestation here, recognizing who I am. And you say, well, I don't know how to do affirmations. Every month, you get an affirmation here. We give you little cards that you can take home and put them up on your bathroom mirror or your speedometer or wherever it is that you need to look very often. That doesn't happen much in Florida, evidently, but anyway. We give you an affirmation every month. This month, we've said it every Sunday, is my life is an eternal celebration of joy. There's a point of recognition for you. My life is an eternal celebration of joy. That is a recognition. You can use them every month. We have one for you, and we'll continue to do that next year. Every month, according to the emphasis of the month, we're going to give you an affirmation to use. What do you do with that? Well, you take it as a point of recognition of who you are and what you are. And then he said, not only is there awaiting our recognition, but our appropriation. Now, we don't give you those affirmations just to be cute. We don't give you to them just to fill up a little section of the service here where you're affirming or saying this thing together and practicing your reading skills. There's a function for that affirmation, for you to take it and to use it, to appropriate it. I am perfect, whole, and complete. That's not just some airy-fairy thing that we say out there just to sound good. If I go out into the world, I believe that I am perfect, whole, and complete, and I encounter a problem, what's going to happen? I'm going to approach that problem by a being that is perfect, whole, and complete, not some miserable loser that doesn't know what's going on. That's what those affirmations are for, to give you the recognition of who and what you are. And you take that and you appropriate it, you use it. Think of any affirmation you've ever heard. I am whatever it is. I am peace, I am love, I am joy. Take that affirmation out into the world, and when you encounter resistance, bring up your affirmation. You are resisting the light of the world here. Watch out. Wouldn't that make a difference instead of saying, oh, please don't push me around. Please don't use me. Please don't hurt me. Because I'm just weak and I'm broken and whatever else. Do you see how it plays out? You're doing it already, but we've been trained to do it in the wrong direction. The statements that we use about ourselves are not true, and we're living that out. That's what we're appropriating in the world. So we're doing it already, just turn it around to the other side. And take these affirmations. I am perfect, whole, and complete. I can't keep that one in my mind. My life is an eternal celebration of joy. An eternal celebration of joy. So what happens when some little point of sadness comes up? We'll experience the sadness as one who is the eternal source of joy. Do you see how different that is? Both recognizing and appropriating is the way that we bring this substance into being. And this substance that is all around us is waiting for us to make that happen. You have a desire. The universe is waiting on you to fulfill that desire. You have an idea. That idea is waiting to be made manifest through you. You have something to say. That is waiting to be said through you. There's some experience in the world. That experience is waiting to be manifested through you. Doesn't that make it different? Now, don't you dare turn it around on yourself and say, oh, well, it's waiting on me and I'm messing up here. Not at all. What I mean is to give you power, to give you authority. It's waiting on you, which means you get to determine what's happening. If you're in a situation where you're waiting for a promise to be fulfilled and you have absolutely no control and no awareness of what's going on, yes, you're going to be frustrated. But what if I tell you that you do know what's going on and you do have the power to make it happen because it's waiting on you to say yes and to step forward? I'd much rather be empowered. I'd much rather know the truth and have the opportunity to do something myself, rather than waiting on somebody else who I have no control over whatsoever, including God. So what if Advent is waiting on us? What if your personal Advent, what if the awakening of your soul to a place you've never been before is not waiting on the whim of God, but what if it's waiting on you saying yes? Bev and I went to, and several others here were there as well, to hear Elizabeth Gilbert speak, the author of Eat, Pray, Love. Wonderful speaker. She's really, really good speaker. And at one point she said, someone who was her personal mentor said to her, what are you willing to give up to have the life that you pretend to want? Because she wanted to be a writer more than anything else in the world. And this lady helped her see that she was really just talking about being a writer. She wasn't really taking the time to do it. She was doing everything in the world but writing. And she said, what are you willing to give up to have the life that you pretend that you want? What if we recognize that we've been pretending to want the fulfillment of our desires? What if we've just been pretending to want our hopes and wishes to be fulfilled? Because you see, when that happens, things change. When you become the person that you are meant to be, there are going to be some people who don't like that, because you're not a pushover anymore. You're not someone who will crawl into the misery with somebody else and everybody just feels lousy. When you step away from that and say, no, I am the light of the world, some people are not going to like that, and you're going to lose some friends. Maybe even family won't like it either. When our wishes, our desires are fulfilled, when our affirmations are fulfilled, life changes because it puts it on me then. And I can't blame it on anybody else. I can't feel sorry for myself. And that's an important thing, because that's not easy to do sometimes. But that's part of it. Yet we have the power, we have the authority to create your life as you desire. It's waiting on us. Spirit is waiting on us to fulfill Advent. The ethers are waiting on us to take those ideas and bring them into ourselves and manifest them into reality. Waiting on us. The substance out of which all things are made is waiting on us to shape it into our idea and manifest it into our world. I am perfect, whole, and complete. Everything you need to completely demonstrate that is waiting for your attention, your recognition, your appropriation. And I say that to empower you. My. I look at you and I don't see brokenness. I don't see lostness. I don't see confusion. I see power, and I see truth, and I see light. Let us not keep God waiting. Let us not keep Spirit waiting. Let us not keep the ethers waiting. Let us not keep substance waiting. Let us bring Advent here, now, and fulfill it through us. Happy Advent.
And we won't keep joy waiting either as we continue on today with our fellowship time. We've got some techies meeting with us to help us see what we need to do technologically for the new year. So you guys grab some snacks and meet us in the children's room. And then we have the workshop. And for those that don't yet understand my wacky sense of humor, I am the workshop presenter. I promise I will not read my 11 pages. They're just there for my use just in case. So let us feel the value that Unity of Pompano is in this community, in this world, in the Unity movement. We're becoming quite a name for ourselves. So I hope you value it as much as I do. And one way you can show your love and appreciation is through your financial giving, certainly through your attendance at all our events. We would so appreciate that if you bring others and support our events, and if you will serve. We have many volunteers here, and that really makes it a wonderful place. So keep all of those in mind. If you're looking at your tax considerations for this year, you may want to consider sponsorship of things that your business may sponsor. Talk to us about that. But either way, just keep us in mind as you shop with Amazon Smile and as you give. We're so appreciative of all that you give. So let's bless our giving today with our prayer. I acknowledge God as the source of all that is. Today I declare good for myself and all others. Good is mine. Good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Everywhere I go, I see this good. I feel it, I experience it, I freely give it, and it multiplies itself around me, and so it is. Amen.
So you can feel free to clap your hands. You can stand up. If you want, it's best if it just happens organically, right? But it's just a gentle suggestion. Oh, said the night wind to the little lad, do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little lamb, do you see what I see? A star, dancing in the night with a tail as big as a kite, with a tail as big as a kite. Said the little lamb to the shepherd boy, do you hear what I hear ringing through the sky, shepherd boy? Do you hear what I hear? A song high above the trees, with a voice as big as the sea, with a voice as big as the sea. Said the king to the mighty king, oh, do you know what I know? In your palace warm, mighty king, do you know what I know? A child shivers in the cold, let us bring him silver and gold. Let us bring him silver and gold. How about a big round of applause for the bands? They are so awesome. Yeah, 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 said the king to the people everywhere. Listen to what I say. Pray for peace, people everywhere. Listen to what I say. The child, sleeping in the night, he will bring us goodness and light. He will bring us goodness and light. He will bring us goodness and light. Thank you so much.
That's Michelle Doyle.
Wow, that's the best arrangement of that I ever heard. Whose is that, or did you put it together?
That's my little thing I did, yep.
That's yours,
A number
James
of years ago.
McCoy. Wow, that is great. Thank you so much. And our chaplains are taking positions to be available to have prayer with you. Do take advantage of that. And now let us stand and bless each other as we continue on in this day with our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was made holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. See you soon.
Is that you? Oh, it was me. Okay. Is that No, I know. No, he started the date. No, I know that. I saw that one. There's another one. Let it be.